So there's a thing called the Local Government Act. It requires elected members to consult with people affected by the decisions and to do so with an open mind. Reinforcing this point, the Office of the Auditor General says that those managing public resources must avoid holding predetermined positions. You are not required to approach every decision as though you have given it no prior thought or have no existing knowledge or opinion. However, you are required to keep an open mind, and you must be prepared to change or adjust your views if the evidence or arguments warrant it. If ACT is successful in building a local government ticket nationally, this tension and the kind of tensions recently at play in Wellington could be seen in other councils. So this was the infighting that they saw with the councils not agreeing with Tory, and
And the whole stupid
wasn't great.
person
So
they
they
put
ended up,
in.
so they put someone in from the Office of Auditor General, I believe, that's what this saying, and they came up with some recommendations. And so I had a read of these, and I was like, so what's good? What's the
Gucci,
what's
my
the
guy?
gist? And I learned a lot of things about local governing politics. If I can find my mouse, which just keeps disappearing.
Weird, I can see your mouse.
Yeah, no, I can't. It just blends in. So I read a few of these points under the party political endorsement, which is not allowed. It is allowed, but there are pros and cons. So some of the plus sides are political party endorsed members could, for example, assist to align local and national strategy and agendas. So that's not a bad thing. Foster collaboration and cooperation with central government, offer clarity to voters about what candidates stand for, and provide some reassurance that they will generally hold to that view or philosophy. But on the downside, political party endorsed members could, for example, prioritise a party's position on a national agenda over the local community's wants, present governance and leadership challenges if the member is issue-driven as opposed to supporting a common vision, and contribute to eroded trust in the system if it is perceived decisions are made based on party policies and dynamics rather than community needs and the members' statutory obligations. There is actually obligations that they must follow as elected council members, and it's different to national central government. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And it's talking about the that thing of like not having preconceived notions. So I'm not saying that. So this is from the Auditor General. I'm not saying that party politics have determined the outcome, as it is clear that party endorsed candidates, as at other times, do not vote en bloc. Equally, though, it would be naive to ignore the significant pressure reportedly placed on party-endorsed members not to go against the will of the party members on significant issues, nor the potential consequences of them doing so. In my view, being political party endorsed as a form of branding done in order to establish that the candidate has a shared set of values which they are expected to uphold on election is quite different to endorsement that binds a member and subjects them to whipping, whether formal or informal. While voters have a right to know what candidates stand for and to expect members to generally hold to that view or philosophy as an ideal and in law, they must also be prepared to consider the decisions that they take objectively with an open mind. Good local democracy and governance depends on it. And the last little bit is under some observations in 27. In addition to the members' declaration to act in the best interests of the district, here are some examples of what the law requires. Make local decisions on behalf of communities, conduct that is open, transparent, and democratically accountable, taking account of the views of all in the community and in the district and so on. Democratically govern communities, be a good employer, seek and assist and assess all reasonably practical options, consider the views and preferences of persons likely to be affected, and receive the views presented with an open mind and give them due consideration. It's funny. I would assume these also go for politicians in our central government, right?
They've got different sets of rules because local and central government they have entirely different systems, and the way that they're funded is very different. Like local government is severely underfunded because essentially local government gets given more responsibilities to the actual people of the community, but very little of the money that they should to enable that. which is why they have to put up rates and all that shit and piss everyone off.
Or not put up the rates because they don't want to piss everyone off.
And then fuck themselves.
Some advice and guidance that came out of this: adhere to the values that you as a candidate stand for, but be prepared to consider the decisions to be taken objectively and with an open mind. Gain a thorough understanding of the Local Governments Act, provisions relating to the role of council and members' obligations, especially in decision making, and weigh them against any prior commitments. Inform those selecting party endorsed candidates about what the law provides and about the risks of tight binding arrangements. Recognise that if and when a colleague goes against the will of party members, they may have information, including confidential information, that the party doesn't have, and have objectively considered it. Conversely, allow the possibility that if a colleague does go with the will of the party, it may be because they have objectively considered the issues, options and submissions, and come to an independent decision, which you'd hope that they do. Try and avoid pillaring colleagues for the way that they vote. And lastly, be aware of the risk of replicating parliamentary party politics in local authorities because, for example, parliamentary parties run and implement specific policy pledges. The Local Government Act 2002 requires a fundamentally different approach. Local government lacks the checks and balances built into the parliamentary system, and minority dissent and instability can give rise to opposition for opposition's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the potential issues with party-endorsed candidates. And by the sounds of it, it sounds like ACT, literally, they want to clean out councils. And they've missed the memo for real change. When I travel across, I'm constantly told the local councils have failed to address these same concerns at the local level. Kiwis voted for real change, but councils seem to have missed the memo. It's time for a clean out.
Oh, fuck off.
So that seems to go very much against the Local Government Act.
Yeah, I'm not
because
surprised.
councillors should act in their independence with the facts that they're given and for the best decisions they can make for their local constituents, right? And not be swayed by a party's underlying ideology, right?